Well, Nick, thank you. This is being called a Mississippi miracle. The state schools, once ridiculed over its test scores, now have critics singing a different tune. Mississippi's fourth graders are ranked first for reading, second for math when adjusted for demographics. That's according to a national assessment. This after the state was ranked 49th a decade ago. 49th. Former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant was involved in this turnaround and analyzed the data in this report. Governor, good to have you on this morning. This comeback in students' reading scores was no accident. This was a Herculean feat. I mean, what or who do you credit this success to?
Well, first to the students. I mean, this was a heavy lift for them, and these are third graders, and many of them with reading disorders, many of them living in poverty. So it was the children and their parents who took this very seriously, who went home and said, we're going to start language within our home. We're going to start reading because we've got a benchmark now that we have to meet on that third grade gate. Only 33% of Mississippi's children were reading on the third grade proficiency in 2012. We realized we had to do something. We had introduced, along with the help of a gentleman named Jim Barksdale, one of our wonderful citizens here in Mississippi, that out of his own pocket funded the Barksdale Reading Institute and began to fund our early childhood learning program back in 2008 when I was lieutenant governor. But we knew that you have to learn to read before you can be successful.
But 49th to first? 49th. I mean, I can understand 49th, drop lower, a couple spots or positions, but I know other states are taking notes this morning. What do you tell them who hope to see the same kind of success and turnaround?
That it can be done. That, as I used to say, then you can go back to the future. So we use some of the basics of phonics, of making sure that they knew language science. We retrain teachers. Teaching reading to children is, in fact, a science. And children like me who are dyslexic, I'm a dyslexic child that repeated the third grade, so they have a particular challenge. And we have many in the challenged communities, our Hispanic population, our African-American population, that were even lower than the 33% proficiency level. And I'm proud to say, as we look at the NAEP, the National Report Card, that those students, our Hispanic students, our white students, our African-American students, are all showing tremendous gains.
You have to meet them where you are. And speaking of national assessment, when it comes to students across the country nationally, the assessment board's data showed deep declines in math, falling scores in reading that worsened during the pandemic, of course. Why are so many students around the country falling behind? And do you think COVID is still to blame here for some of it?
I think it's obviously a great deal of blame. You've got to remember those times. I see a surgical mask now, and I think back to how many times I had those on, and those children, and the disruption of school, the very closing of schools, and learning is a social program at times. So it's very important that they have that personal relationship with their teachers, that they're learning at home, that they're learning from their other students. And I would say that our students, our teachers, remarkable. We just gave them the largest raise in Mississippi's history, and they surpassed the Southeastern average. So we've got to value your teachers, involve your parents, and lift up your children. We said that Mississippi is rising, and we shall all rise together, and indeed we have.
They are our heroes, that is for sure, educating the next world leaders and world changers. Former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, thanks so much. And I know a lot of people taking their notes this morning and hoping to see the same.
That is so amazing. Congratulations.
To first.
I mean, seriously, defy the odds. Break the statistical studies.
Yeah, not half a century.
We should all be applauding this across the country, because if it can happen in Mississippi, it can happen anywhere. That is just amazing. I'm so glad we did that.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.